Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Dan Records and Our the Wolf review. After a 1 week hiatus, what happened last week, by the way, if you've been following along, is that on Tuesday, Jim Freund, host of Our the Wolf, noticed that the show was actually put on the schedule for that Thursday morning. And so he got in touch with me quick, said, hey, Dan, looks like we're going to be doing the show on Thursday. It'll be a pre-recorded show, but we're doing it anyway. And he included in that the caution that what he saw on the schedule might not actually be real. Somebody might have slipped up at the station. And so I was forewarned, but I said to myself, okay, well then let's just do what we usually do before the quarantine, and I'll just record the review and have that ready for him to slug into the show, which I presume he did create the pre-recorded show and slugged my review into it. And just to cover my tuchus, I also created the video that went up last week, which was, if you saw it, it was just a quick little thing using the trailer and the actual edited review just to cover myself. But it turned out Jim's suspicions were right, and the show did get preempted for some sort of holistic nutrition thing or something, as is WBAI's wont. So instead of doing this 360-degree VR session with me actually recording the review, I put up the edited review with the video instead. And in fact, it actually did quite well. If by quite well, you're talking about 30 views. Now, I don't know if that's because of the actual film I was talking about, which was Diablo Rojo's TTY. Very good film, by the way. You should check out my review and check out the film too, by the way. Or if it was the actual format, if people prefer to actually hear the edited review rather than seeing me tootle around in front of the microphone like I'm about to do here. But if you have a preference, you can certainly feel free to comment below on the YouTube page, or you can go to the Hour of the Wolf group over at Facebook and comment there. I do want to hear about that. There are different levels of labor that are involved with either format, so I'm open to whatever people want to try. But okay, that's enough nattering for now. Let's record a review. Got an interesting one. Maybe a little bit of a shorter segment this time around, but it's for a worthwhile film. So once again, if you're new to this, if this is the first time you're watching one of these things, let me point out that what I am going to be doing is I am going to be recording a review segment for the radio show Hour of the Wolf, which airs on WBAI 99.5 FM in New York and the tri-state area. But this is the way I typically do it. Now, when it airs on Hour of the Wolf, that's the edited version of what I'm going to do here, because while I've gotten better at reading from a script, I'm not perfect. And so you'll be hearing a lot of thumpering and nattering and that sort of stuff. And hopefully you'll take away something educational from it. Enlightening, let's say. Enlightenment. The enlightenment is, of course, that we are all human and fallible. And God knows I'm as fallible as anybody around here. Okay. So there's that. What I am going to do is once I start the recorder, I'm going to pause a few seconds just to capture the room tone, and then typically when I edit this stuff down, I use that room tone to filter out the room tone in the edited review. So there's that, and one more proviso. I am going to be actually recording this. This does not mean that this will actually air on Hour of the Wolf, because the show is still being preempted during the quarantine. We don't know when it's going on. Hopefully, maybe they'll surprise them and run last week's show this week. I don't know. But I'm feeling a little parched at the moment, so let me get a beverage before I start. Okay, and if you watched it, by the way, the week before, you may notice it's rather obvious that I haven't done any post-production this particular week. I had tried it a couple of weeks ago, and while there was some good stuff about doing that and some bad stuff, basically I felt the quality of the video was a little more degraded than I would have wanted it to be. Not that what you're getting right now is particularly pristine or 4K or anywhere near that, but the quality didn't quite suit me 2 weeks ago, and so we're just going to go raw. There is the manufacturer of the camera I'm using here has their own program, and so I may use that if I can get it over to my computer. I may use that to edit, like trim the head and tail, so you don't get the whole silly thing. Be reaching out to the camera to turn it on and off. But we'll see. Maybe you just get it uncut and wild and beautiful. I'm talking a lot today. I don't know. Let's record review, shall we? We got the recorder running now. Let's just capture some room tone. Okay, that should be enough. We shall. Hour of the Wolf movie review. Oh, now I don't know why I need to correct that, but I'm going to correct that anyway. Here we go. This doesn't even air. Hour of the Wolf review, air date. Dare to hope it will be May 21st, 2020. SELAH and the Spades. Take one. I'm Dan Persons, and this is my Hour of the Wolf review. I know nothing about Tairisha Poe, the writer and director of SELAH and the Spades, which is now available on Prime Video. I will venture a guess that SELAH and the Spades, her feature-length debut. I will venture a guess that SELAH and the Spades, Poe's feature-length debut, is an I will venture a guess that SELAH and the Spades, Poe's feature-length debut, is an intensely personal film for her, which may be why it's gotten a quite positive ranking on Rotten Tomatoes, which I agree with, spoiler, and a disappointing response on the more consumer-oriented IMDb. The problem may be that it presents itself with a pretty high-concept premise and then takes it to something subtler and more meaningful. The setup is that at a prestigious boarding school somewhere outside of Philadelphia, the film was actually shot in Massachusetts, by the way. The student population is broken up into a number of vice-related factions. Selah Summers, played by Lovie Simone, heads up the Spades, responsible for the sale and sorry, responsible for the sale and distribution of pot, pills, and booze to the needy teens. The problem is that SELAH is on the cusp of graduation and has yet to pick a successor. She's targeted freshman Paloma, played by Celeste O'Connor, for the position. She's targeted freshman Paloma, played by Celeste O'Connor, for the position, and has started grooming her in anticipation of her ascendance. But with her second-in-command, Maxie, played by Jarrell Jerome, suddenly behaving very strangely, and with rifts forming in the ecology of the school's factions, will SELAH be able to maintain control long enough to complete the transition? Okay, so you can imagine how this plays out as a kind of compressed teen version of De Palma's Scarface. And to a certain extent it does. But as the narrator bluntly points out at the beginning of the film, this isn't really about the factions, their politics, and their crimes. What director Poe is really interested in, and possibly is identifying with, is SELAH herself, a young woman in a position of immense power, dealing with it rather capably, but still subject to the errors of youth, which includes becoming so immersed in her commercial activities that she hasn't given sufficient thought to what the future may lie. Which includes becoming so immersed in her commercial activities that she hasn't given sufficient thought to what future may lie beyond the school. Which includes becoming so immersed in her commercial activities that she hasn't given sufficient thought to what future may lie beyond the school's protective, if drug-soaked environment, and being so guarded about herself that self-destructive paranoia has set in. Within the worldview of SELAH, and through the perspective of a largely African-American cast, Poe has constructed an altered and female-empowered reality where the cheerleading team serves as a metaphor for women declaring control over their sexuality and their bodies, and where transgression into vice can serve both as a symbol of liberation and an exploration of the dangers of too much power acquired too quickly. Poe is clearly aiming for a Shakespearean scope to her tale, something overtly referenced in the film, but with a languid intimacy that makes it all the more distinct and compelling. SELAH and the Spades takes the trappings of an easy-to-comprehend premise and takes it to places subtler and more profound. It's an entrancing watch. Nowhere near as profound, but quite fun is my own series, Historama 3D, which you can watch in VR via the YouTube VR app or by using red cyan anaglyph glasses on your computer or mobile device through just plain YouTube. We've got the sexy Lady Frankenstein, and the even sexier, I don't know, I shouldn't laugh at my own jokes, considering the fact that it isn't that great a joke to begin with. Sorry, let's try that again. We've got the sexy Lady Frankenstein and the even sexier Gamera there for you to enjoy, and we're putting the finishing touches on the animated free enterprise pep rally that is Make Mine Freedom. That's hopefully coming up in the next week or two. Just search for Historama 3D. Getting there. Just search for Historama 3D. And remember that whatever the news is showing you, people are still hurting during the quarantine. So please give to a charity that is helping out. FeedingAmerica.org, SaveTheChildren.org. Whatever you can pitch in, wherever you feel it'll do the most. Whatever you can pitch in, wherever you feel it'll do the most good. Thank you. For Hour of the Wolf, I'm Dan Persons. There you go. A little bit of a quickie there. Hope it's good. I was really entranced by SELAH the Spades. It is on Prime Video. It is worth checking out. So that'll be it for this week. Who knows? Maybe this one will actually get on the air, but probably not. In any case, thank you once again for sitting through this, enduring this, or maybe enjoying it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're all safe and well. Please be sure to comment if you want on the YouTube page or on Hour of the Wolf. Take care, stay safe, and we shall probably see you next week.